fire up.
I think
Go
we're
for
good to
it.
go.
We have signatures on these. Do you want to look at them anyway?
Linda, would you like to start to get in, get out? If you'd like,
I
welcome to
would-
stay.
Oh, which Linda?
Choice of. Doesn't matter, both of you.
Are you gonna?
Come right up. Let's get it going. We'll get down out of here.
Okay, so I know that it seems like a long time ago when you guys asked me to start going to these shack
Could
meetings.
you state your name, please?
Linda. But I have dutifully been going.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a doer. And I never saw such a not doing thing.
What?
It's just something. So it's so bad. Were you the one that was going to the TAC meetings before from this board? No. I'm not. It's a good group of people. God, they're the salt of the earth. But there's kind of like nothing for them to do, and that's what I have to report to you. Now it's like legislatively nothing for them to do. So much so that the meeting I was at in May, they suggested that we go to a quarterly or even once every 6 months meeting. And frankly, I haven't seen a lot in the monthly meetings that would indicate there's anything earth-shaking, because here's the news I have to give you. So 2 to 3 years ago, there was, this 2-year process where they do roads and then they do bridges, and then roads and bridges, and they have that whole thing, that whole document you've seen before where everything's prioritized. Apparently all that is now out the window. Nothing will be done until 2030. Doesn't matter what our bridge that I just rode over today, and could not believe what that bridge looks like. Have you been there in a little while? The concrete is unrecognizable.
Parody or
Chester. Well, the Chester Arthur Bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's in good shape.
Yeah,
That one's in
compared-
good shape
compared-
compared to the
compared-
next one down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Scary.
Okay.
Parody's scary.
Well, okay, so that is the big, I don't know. No bridges are gonna be accepted into the capital program until 2030 is the exact.
Even the ones that, what about the like parity bridges already in the
No,
process?
So what they
That one
said
is-
about that was when the bridge was selected, everything has been shoved back due to the pandemic cost increases. Everything was pushed back to 2030, and then it'll pick up after that. And I'll tell you, when they went through the numbers on how much things, because somebody did the homework on what things used to cost and what things cost 3 years, like 2019 compared to 2023, it was incredible how much the change in costs are, which I know that you guys all know. So, trying to be a doer here and just not walk away from that meeting going, well, they said the best you can do is appeal to your legislators, because we're not, and you say, we're not getting the opportunity to nominate bridges, and there's going to be life and limb involved. And they did say that. The bridges that have had attention have had big accidents on them. So if somebody has a tractor they're willing to let go over the edge, maybe we get some attention. But that's the only ones that are getting done now. Are the ones that
Imagine each one of these floods puts more stress on
actually
them.
have calamity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what I am happy to, man, I can bug the heck out of our legislators in a nice way about this and make sure that people know, because that's one of the things that I've really learned by doing this for the last year, is that this system is almost unintelligible already. It's not a system.
It's in flux, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. And so I keep crying. I get more and more, assertive at these meetings now that everybody knows each other, and it just doesn't seem like legislators understand the way it works in a small community like this. When you got a bridge like that had all that traffic diverted through it over, I think that really did it some damage as well. But anyway. If you want me to, I'll start, really.
Yeah, or keep harping on them. That bridge is almost 100 years old.
Yeah, I've got, this notebook has everything that you sent me, Brian. I have photographs and everything. So I have everything I need to talk about that bridge. And what I can do is I can, I'm a pretty good writer and I can make, whoever you'd like me to contact. Who's the most, for you guys, who's the most likely legislator to have any pull or any.
How'd you make out
input.
one?
Yeah, so we met with the Secretary of Transportation, Joe Flynn, on these two
Okay.
bridges. We toured both bridges, we toured
Oh.
the beach. I didn't think to invite you. And he was coming in the morning, so we kinda had it set up, and Mo was gonna join us, and then he got tagged by the governor,
Okay,
and he rescheduled for the afternoon, so it was kind of a late
Okay.
reschedule. And, yeah, I think this is gonna be a subject for future meetings. We're not gonna take action tonight, but Kathy and I did go and we talked all about what you're talking about with the secretary. And yeah, so to answer one question is, he brought up in, what's Matt's last name from Swanton, the chair of
He was here.
transportation? Yeah, so the chair of House Transportation is Matt from, he's a Swanton representative.
Okay.
And Secretary Flynn said, you gotta, he's a good person to check, to coordinate and communicate with.
okay.
So that's one thing.
Matt, and we're not sure what his was last.
Yeah,
I
well,
can find it.
Yeah.
I can find it.
He's a good guy, very knowledgeable, very helpful.
Okay.
He attended, the select board met with him here
Yeah.
about a year, before the legislative session started. And I'm embarrassed that I've forgotten his name, but
It's
getting
okay,
old.
I can find it.
But I think, and Kathy had extensive conversations on details of which I was kind of listening on this subject. And she actually has a memo on this subject
Okay.
that she shared with him. But it's my humble opinion, as someone who, I don't know, I guess I took an oath to this seat, but we all have I think we're gonna have to bond. And there's a way to do it. But I thought I was in a third world country looking at the Parity Bridge. I was shocked at the condition of the bridge. But it doesn't really matter what I think. I just think we've got an engineer, a good one.
I was gonna say, you could close that Parity Bridge. Cause you got access from both ends. The Chester Arthur one's the one you gotta worry about.
Well, that's what I was just thinking.
That's the biggest.
I was thinking, when we sat there with the Secretary of Transportation, in about a half an hour timeline, I think I counted like 8 semis going
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chester.
with
Yes.
heavy loads. In 20 minutes, there was 8 semis. So it's not recreational drive. I mean, it's. So I guess you know, I think we're gonna. I think we're gonna have to have a future conversation with like preparation, but if he did have good suggestions. There is no pot of gold at the state, what you're saying, but that doesn't relieve us of our obligation to make sure that our
Safe. Yeah.
So I'd like to just add that, to clarify for parity, it is that when they pass the budget this year, it is in there as a line item, but it's out 2 more years, so 3 years. It was planned for this year, they delayed it last year.
I thought
For
it was
next year.
2028. Am I
It's
wrong?
2028 now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So
they're billing
there's
us for
a,
it, though.
what?
They billed us $100.
They're billing us for the, they have all of the engineering done, but they're billing us for like easement and whatever. There's the 5% of something. Anyway, so yeah, it's still in the works. It's still on the books. It's just delayed.
That's a parity road.
That's Parity Road, so 2028. And he did say that in the meantime, because he was standing right on it, we were looking right down through it. I mean, it's crumbling. And he said, you know, that we should consider fixing it temporarily until the bridge is, until they put the bridge in. And he said that won't penalize us for getting, like, it's still gonna happen.
Yeah, we won't,
It's not
if,
gonna-
if we make a repair, it's not gonna
It's not
affect
gonna
the
push
fact
it
that
off.
we're in the timeline.
Right,
And,
which is the big question.
Yeah, I think you gotta prioritize where you're gonna put what money you do have for bridges.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna get more bang for your buck to longer lengthen the life of that Chester Arthur Bridge
Yeah.
versus
Right.
that Parity Bridge.
Totally.
That's where the big one's gonna be, because your investment in that Parity Bridge is temporary, and it doesn't get anywhere near the traffic that that Chester Arthur one gets.
And even repairing it is putting a Band-Aid on a Band-Aid. There's
Yeah.
no structural,
I mean, they put all
Reasonable
new
investment.
rails under that bridge on Parity's probably 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, what I guess I was getting at is, I think we should hire an engineer, go to town on that kind of a question, like, what is a reasonable repair? God forbid there's an accident. I mean, I think,
Or you
And-
close the
and-
road, you close the bridge. You
Yeah.
can do that.
yeah, well, like
That's
Parity,
something
or
you consider.
you couldn't, we wouldn't close Chester Arthur.
You wouldn't close Chester Arthur, but you could close Parity Bridge,
Right.
because
Well-
it's two outlets.
Yeah,
the
well,
thing there.
that's kind of thing, we set a priority, say, all right, we're gonna put our resources on the Chester Arthur, and we're in the pipeline for 2028, and he had some specific advice on, meet with the treasurer about financing, and there are some funds, grants that he talked about, but it's, I'm sure we could go in with, Kathy's notes and everything else more, but he was very generous with his time. We went to the public beach, and he's Bridget Horgan's cousin, so he's got a connection to Fairfield, and he's happy to, stay in touch with us and assist. But if you wanted to, Linda, check in with that House member.
And don't get me wrong, the TAC board is super important. These people are on it, but it looks like budgeting has made their influence or their decision-making process
Yeah,
so
pretty narrowed.
so narrow now that, there's not that much decision-making or.
All the money goes towards a flood or
Yeah.
some of the bridges taken out.
Yeah, so, okay,
Well, what he kind of said is, when we were getting the specifics, like, Kathy was grilling him, how come? Well,
I asked
you're
him
very,
questions.
very direct
You
in
had some
saying,
really good questions.
and he said a lot of the federal funding come in, like his bike path. The bike path funding is in the bucket. They can't change the bucket. So there's these streams of revenue, of funding that there's just not enough in this area.
And there's also this weird matching thing that they have to do when they get an influx of federal funds to the state. I mean, they also have to match it a certain percentage in order for them to even be able to disperse it to the towns, even though they've qualified for it. So there's this shuffle around of how much money are they already on the on the line for
Yeah.
as a requirement for FEMA funds, and that changes how much money they can use in the state for other things, and it's just,
how many people do you think would be affected if you closed the Parity Bridge?
Not many.
Not many. Okay, because, sometimes that's a way to get community support,
Yeah.
is to have people have some skin in the game.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of letters from, or contacts from individual voters sometimes are just throwing that out there.
Basically,
I
down there,
think
you
if
got two farms on each end.
Joe,
Okay,
Secretary Flynn did give us a point of contact at the St. Albans Barracks or St. Albans
District
Garage.
8.
Building. And
We had two people, John Wilkins and Steve Stanley.
yeah, he had another person, Melissa, I have in my notes, I don't have them in front of me, but he listed another, on the subject of repair. So I was just thinking, like Dave brought up, we could, go out and put together a kind of like an assessment of like, do we close Parity? Do we do a repair in Chester A. Arthur? Is it something that isn't a Band-Aid, something that's thoughtful?
but use their bridge, Section 8, District 8 bridge engineers to come out and.
Right,
help us
and
do
that's what Joe said could happen. They could help us, they could advise us on repair, and it wouldn't, I just think that's kind of like when I heard all these delays and all this stuff, I said, well, and he said this is happening around the state.
yeah.
Communities are, they're just saying, we gotta do it, we're gonna bond it, they gotta bond.
So one thing I'm gonna check is, because they seemed absolutely insistent that no money is going to any bridges until 2030. But this group seems to think you're on the list for
Yeah, I already
2028.
went on to
You're for
the
sure of that.
100, I mean, I went onto the
Okay.
website for the budget and looked
Okay.
at the municipal roads and then found us on the
Okay.
list
All right, great.
with all of the numbers awarded for,
Okay.
basically construction on 2028.
Okay,
But I mean, that's the other thing, they put it off and they put it off, so this is the second time they put it off. And now
Well, and
it's
you got, this
2028.
weekend, you got the flooding in the Northeast Kingdom. I mean, that's gonna have an impact, you know?
Right.
It's-
Show a lot of funding.
Yeah.
have you ever done a formal traffic count on that bridge?
We did it years ago
Okay.
when this was first coming up.
Okay.
The state of Vermont needed us to do a count. I saw it as part of the some paperwork.
I think that would be helpful to make a case, like you're saying, Gavin, if you were standing there, or one of you said, if you're standing there for 10 minutes and you already saw
There's
8
a
big
pretty
trucks.
recent one on Chester Arthur Bridge.
Yeah, that's good.
That's pretty recent.
The
Last
Chester
summer,
Arthur.
they did a bunch of
Yeah.
traffic counts
Okay,
around town.
I would like to
That
have
was
that.
last year.
If-
Yeah, the
if-
state must have that one, right? They did.
It's available.
I have,
online.
yeah, I have
Yeah.
that too.
Okay, I'll try and get that from
Sure.
you, because that would be
Well,
really interesting.
NRPC did it, so they
Oh.
also have it on file.
Okay, I'll just get it from
So
Cal.
Brian, the person that you want Linda to contact was one of the people that was here. That was John Wilkins and Steve Stanley in March.
So John, I'm
One of them
in
was-
regular contact with him.
Yeah,
on
no, I
different
think, I'm not
projects.
asking her to do that. I think we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
So you asked for house member, which I think is a good,
Yeah.
that can't
Yeah.
hurt, that's a good thing. But I think we're gonna, we're gonna put on an agenda like a repair. We're gonna get our engineer in, get the District 8 people in repair at a future,
Yeah.
And I did some research on the grader, research on what loans are available for the grader. And I have information about bonding as part of that research that I can give to you later in the meeting.
Okay.
And last thing, I do have a connection with Randy Brock.
Yeah.
Is he any part of this? Would it be helpful?
Sure.
He came to talk to, I
Yeah.
mean, we had all of our delegates come and we told them about this, but it would be good to keep pounding the
Yeah.
door.
Okay,
So before you leave, Linda, or you've got more,
no,
did you guys talk about the beach area at all and parking?
We
Is there-
did, yeah, we did.
I don't know how it ties into TAC necessarily, but the more people we have aware of it, if you ever get bored on a hot, sunny, I don't
okay.
care if it's a Monday or a Saturday, drive by the
Tonight.
pond. Yeah. It's crazy tonight.
And beware, because people will be standing in the road and they don't move.
Yeah, we went to the beach with Secretary Flynn. We said the select board feels like, this is of serious concern from safety for pedestrians, kids, pickup trucks, high utilization. We got a wetland here, we got a public, I said it was a state access, but I think it's not a state access, but
The boat launches.
boat launch, and we kind of clarified that, but
The boat launch is a state access?
it's not, right?
The boat launch is state.
I was gonna say it is
Oh.
state.
Yeah, the boat launch is state, the rest is, town.
Okay, well, then, we talked all about this, and we said this is, and it came up at the Pond Association meeting with the Friends of Northern Lake Champlain, and there is funding, or we're looking at that for,
Right, I have a meeting with them next week, to talk about, so we talked a little bit about, navigating the wetlands and roads requirements and feasibility to move it. I said we're coming at it with, it has to happen, not can it happen?
Who
Do
do
we
you
have to
meet
put
with?
I haven't met with them yet, it's the Friends of Northern Lake
Oh.
Champlain, it's the ones that did the study of the pond. And so they're actually 100% behind this project to try to help us make it happen.
I have some connections with them too.
it's kind of interesting because there's like pedestrian safety, wetland, public road, state access, all kind of,
The state would let you develop that wetlands for $155,000. What, 8, 10
And at
years
some
ago?
point, it may be worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
the four of us drive through it all the time. I
Yeah.
tried to get through there yesterday in a hurry. You
There's,
can't,
there's no getting through.
yeah.
When I came home
You're not getting
yesterday
through in a hurry.
evening,
No,
there
it's
were
not
people
easy.
standing in the road talking, and I had to stop for them. And I was about to toot my horn because they were not aware I was there. They were just standing there talking, and I'm like, you're in a road.
Whoa.
They weren't even on the side of the road. They were in the middle of the
But
road.
it's not even the special people that stand in the middle of the road, it's the kids getting stuff out of the back of
Yeah.
cars.
Right.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
right.
scares me.
That's-
I saw a little one when we were there yesterday, like littler than my kid. Right between two cars, from the beach,
Yeah.
right between two cars into the road. And the mother is like, and then saw where the kid was and went running into the road to scoop it.
What needs to happen there? I would
The
love
road
to.
needs to be moved north.
The TAC committee would definitely talk about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just a
Okay.
wetland. It's a wetland issue.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's, how do we make that happen? Is it a
Alright.
bridge? Do we have to
Yeah.
pay out
Okay.
somehow?
Well, last time it was coming up with $155,000 to buy that,
Yeah, well, now it's gonna be
Right.
$500,000.
probably.
Who owns it?
Who were we buying it from? I'm trying to recall.
Is
It was the state, we had to get this money at the
Yeah.
state
Yeah.
to do a
Wetland offset. or something.
offset, yeah.
Okay.
Do you
I picked up
remember
the
the year
garbage here
that
this
you were
morning.
working on that?
It was the year we widened that road out and we got a
You
grant
did
to put in those
tractor.
parking
Okay.
spots
You
and
did.
parking
Okay.
lines
You
and.
take your
No, I
tractor.
picked it up with a bucket, but
Okay.
I had 4 pails full.
Wow.
I came through even 11 o'clock the other night, it was still 80 some odd degrees out, and there was a
Yeah.
dozen people swimming
Yeah.
out there, like crazy.
You know, my grandson goes up there in kayaks, fishes. Says the best fishing he can find.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
no
loves
fish in
it.
that
He
pond.
loves it there.
Yeah.
I saw plenty the other night when just off the end of the dock. I was swimming with the fishes.
Okay, well, that's all
Anyways,
I've got.
if that's a conversation you can bring up.
Well, thank you, Linda.
I'm
Just,
gonna bring that.
Yeah, that's good, yeah, that's great that
Okay.
you're aware of it, but I think the board is gonna, those issues the board is gonna have to focus on.
I think it's because the Fairfield Pond is clean, and there's so many other areas that have such problems.
Yeah.
And they just bring in people in.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, this, like I said, this board is really, really important, and I'll ask one more thing and just see if you have any ideas. Like, the last meeting had to be canceled because they didn't have a quorum. I was out of town, and they just don't have enough people showing up for towns. We're one of the rare ones.
If you're gonna be out of town, just let me know and I'll go.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask, is that, do I have a backup? Because it's so important that every single one of us that shows up regularly actually shows up, or they don't, or they can't even have the meeting. Okay, I'll call you next time if I. All right, well, that's all I got.
Well, thank you.
Okay, all right, and get ahold of me if you have something for me to
Come up with
take
some
out,
bright
okay?
ideas.
All right, thank you guys.
See you, Linda.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks.
Well, looks like that's a little bit of good news. This is, the lower one is last year and the top one is this year's. If I'm reading it correctly, it went down a little.
So our CLA is at 109?
No, our CLA is 101, that's last year's.
Oh, okay.
This year it's 101, 100.1. But I went on because I gave you the other little slip because it's the CLA divided by the SA is, so that's your little slip of paper telling you how that was figured. So our CLA is 100.1% this year.
even though we did a reassessment, we're still
No.
getting adjusted.
No, this
Our
is,
reappraisal.
no, we did a reappraisal. It's the district-wide though,
Gotcha.
so anyway, we're good. Obviously, we're right where we want to be 2 years out from the reappraisal, that piece. So anyway,
So
Okay,
does
let
that
me just-
mean
let me
that the
just-
houses are selling for what they're
oh
valued
no,
at?
they're still selling for more.
Okay, just so, the people who, on the listeners, so you just handed out a piece of paper.
Education,
This is the common level of appraisal for the town of Fairfield for 2025 is, am I reading this, is 138.2?
No,
Divided by the state
that's
adjustment.
divided by the state adjustment. And your little piece of paper there tells you their
Okay,
little formula.
so what is,
Our CLA is 100.1%.
okay,
And the state adjustment for us is 72.36.
What's that mean?
I don't know. It means that little piece of paper right there, that's what it means. That's,
And this doesn't include the state tax, I mean, the town tax.
no, the town
calculation.
hasn't,
So that's separate.
the town hasn't set their
This is
tax
the
rate yet,
school.
this is just the school rate.
This is a state rate, basically,
Yeah, this is the state's
figured out for the town.
Yeah.
for the school.
This is the education tax rate.
all right, so I guess the bottom line is, I'd have to read this a little more, but we're not gonna expect any 14% with our CLA as it is. And,
Actually, you're down, right?
Yeah,
right,
What was it last year,
what, the CLA?
the tax rate?
It's, you got
Below.
the, it's, see, below.
You're about 6 cents less.
Okay, yeah.
Right,
Roughly, if I read
last
this
year
right.
was our, what was our percentage increase last year?
Oh, I don't, it was terrible. Was it 12 or something?
12 or 14 maybe.
That didn't include the increase, that was different, I can grab it, but it was, it didn't include what we had already done to lower the tax rate or keep our tax rate locally in
No,
check.
No, 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 this is just
Education tax.
education.
Yeah, it
Education tax.
offset in terms of, yeah.
Right, but this was done because they used surplus money to get the whole rate down for the whole state, right? If I'm remembering them in the house, this is a 1-year deal.
I don't pay
'Cause They gotta
attention.
figure out how
Yeah.
they're gonna,
it's true.
it's a 1-year deal, so they gotta keep on their ass, just to make sure they realize, you wanna see them all go down, keep raising them.
Yeah.
So that's that part, the education tax rate. So I got an email a few weeks ago from a paralegal helping this older couple who have a piece of land in Fairfield, 4 acres more or less. Well, she wanted to know why we're taxing them for 4 acres more or less when it doesn't show up in Vermont Parcel Viewer and it doesn't show up on our parcel maps. Well, this is why it doesn't show up on either. Being a parcel of land located in the town of Fairfield known as the Cedar Swamp Lot of approximately 4 acres more or less. With that deed description,
So it's one of those post lots in the swamp?
so she was saying that we need to talk to our town attorney, why are we doing this, talk to the, she's not gonna talk to us until we get back. Well, how dare we have a deed, and actually that's how we make up our grand list, right? Tax people. So I talked to VLTC, I talked to Tim Hawkins, I talked to my district advisor, I talked to everybody. We're doing everything the way we're supposed to.
You've got a registered deed in your town book.
Okay, so one of her things was she did a search online and she couldn't find anything. Our search online goes back 40 years.
This is probably made in the
I was gonna
1800s.
say, I've researched some of these lots.
So here's the survey of those lots, and here in book 1, discuss those lots, and I got it back too, because the deeds all piggybacked on a piece of land that they had in Fletcher that wasn't abutting this. So I got it back down to the original lot. So the reason I'm here is it does exist.
And that's all I need to apply.
And the only way that they're gonna not have it is to sell it to someone else or deed it to the town of Fairfield, but I don't wanna say deed it to the town of Fairfield if you guys don't want it.
All
we'll take it.
depends, all depends, does it have road
No.
frontage?
No, it's literally,
It's one of those post lots in the swamp where 100 years ago, everybody had an acre where they went down, they cut their fence posts, and they came out across Bob's
What-
land and.
which I didn't realize was a thing until I was talking to my district advisor. I said, it's part of Cedar Swamp, and he goes, yeah, cedars, that's what all the swamps you get. I said, I didn't realize that, I learned something, I didn't realize that swamp land was actually worthwhile to get your cedar post out of. So anyway, yes, that's what it is. So,
So that's all you've done, all you need to. We
It's not a
can
big
prove the
deal.
law,
Yeah.
they own it. They figure out what they need to do with it. It's not up to us.
Yeah,
No.
don't make any suggestions,
No,
just.
this is just,
say-
we got proof that ownership and here's your taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a legal advisor, she should know the law, and that's the law.
Well, exactly. She was throwing it all at me, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not
Well,
your
how,
job.
how are you, well, just like this, I am not gonna give her any of this because that's not my job either. But when they're
Well, you could
saying,
invite her up to the vault and say, hey.
she can go in the vault, and she
Sure.
can do this.
Yeah.
All you have to do is a title
Yeah.
search like I did. I mean, I don't make $75 an hour to do this, so, but, you know, you made me curious. Okay,
Right.
for my own peace of mind, okay, where did
I
this
didn't
come
know that
from?
history, Dave. I didn't know
I didn't
that.
either. That's
There's-
cool.
There's a
There's a
lot
lot of
across the
woodlots
state.
around.
Our woodlot, we don't have one cedar tree, but you go to the Yates, and there's the swampy stuff, it's fascinating. Yeah. Well, you did your town obligation dutifully, Linda.
Well, thank you. When I'm done here, I can do title searches.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, tell her, hey, come on up, I happen to, I have all the deeds and everything, I'll show you what, I mean, tell her I got all this stuff, you wanna see
Well,
it?
yeah,
Because we're, you know, your research is confirmed, she is
How
the,
much time to get involved in this?
couple hours.
What does she charge up? 'Cause you're not an obligation to find somebody's
No,
deeds,
no.
because I've looked up my own deeds.
No, no.
Yeah.
So
No,
you're
no,
not
it's
under
actually a liable because
Yeah.
what if I lost something in the chain here and
No,
that
you-
isn't
You
it?
did your due
Okay.
diligence on
Yeah.
behalf of the town to
Yeah.
make sure that this makes sense.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
let it
the
go.
story, you're welcome to come do
Do
a
your
title
own.
search.
Do your own and
Yeah.
verify what you need to.
so, anyway, that's what I have. The education tax rate looks to be a little lower and
Well, that's good news.
I found a piece of swampland that this person might wanna sell.
The state of Vermont may want to buy it.
As I said, they might not own it now.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't find anywhere not, but
Is there a survey of that whole swamp? When the state took it over?
no.
Yes,
Well, is there? Where?
because I dug it up and surveyed it, found the original pins and whatnot.
So,
Yeah.
but
It's handwritten like that.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. It's on the Fletcher line?
No.
Cedar Swamp.
it was a two separate
Off West Street.
parcels.
Off West Street. They had a parcel in Fletcher,
Oh,
and then this was associated with it.
It just because the same people own both of the parcels, the deed was a piece of, and it was a house that they had in Fletcher, but they didn't touch.
Right.
It wasn't like the Doobie property and the Yates property that goes over two towns.
There was a piece of land up kind of that farm on Chester Arthur Road down the back, and Slim Bovite tried to claim it, and this one claimed it. Come find out when they did the surveys, it went with the old Casavant farm. It was one of those Church of England deals.
Yeah.
And it was 6 acres. And that actually, if somebody wanted to go back and really claim it, they could prove it back to Casavant's old farm. There's a lot of that stuff out there. And they laid out more lots than there was land. You know, just, that's what they did.
5 acres and a mule or whatever it was, and whatever, and a mule. Okay, so
Okay, well, thank
Just
you.
wanted
Do you
to-
have anything else?
that's enough, isn't it?
If you're happy, we're happy.
Let's put it this way, I was technically challenged today, everything I touched didn't work. But by the end of the day, everything was working. It's always tomorrow. Thank
See you
you.
later.
Thank you, Linda. No more, so.
I
Someone
make a motion, we approve the minutes dated 23 June.
Okay. Someone second.
Did you find them?
No, yeah, I'll second it.
Any amendments or changes you want to make before we take a vote? If you don't, all in favor?
Aye.
Good enough. Kathy?
So piggybacking on the funding conversation we were just talking about for bridges, I did some research on greater funding options, loans, and have a recommendation based on that, but I also just included some information on bonding.
I don't think we're gonna bond the grader.
But no, I know that, but it's just part of this. So the grade, talking about the grader, that's on the top. So, we missed the loan, equipment loan fund deadline, for this year. And the bond bank loans for equipment require voter approval. And a purchase order for the grader was signed during our last meeting. So, Based on the research that I did for other loan options, I would suggest that we go with the People's Trust Company loan this year for the grader. They quoted us 3.5% for a 3-year loan, and the amount can be determined by you guys. And if you have any other suggestions for this, we can go in a different direction. But the equipment purchases for the Municipal Equipment Loan Fund, the deadline is mid-April. They have a 2% interest, but that's expected to increase. There's also some information on the back about them too.
Is that the case if you got that, if you paid part of the thing, could you get the rest of it? Could you refinance your loan next April?
No, they have specific,
It's all specific.
yeah, you have to have a specific quote, basically, that you submit to them along with the application. And then once that's in, they have a meeting set in mid-May to determine and prioritize which of the equipment pieces they want to invest in. You can only apply only once per year, one piece of equipment per year, up to I want to say $150,000, and it can only be 75% of the purchase cost. So that's a good option for you if you wanted to, for when you purchase these big trucks. We just have to make sure that we get it in there by April. The other, that the loan through the Vermont Bond Bank, there's a loan program as well. That process includes getting municipal approval. You have to have a vote at the town meeting. It has to be warned and voted publicly. And then...
Do they have an interest with that, the bond bank?
So the bond bank... I'm back. Okay, so the bond bank loans are based on who is applying every year.
Oh.
It's a pooled bond loan. It's a pooled loan program, so they put out they come up with the master amount, and then they put it out for the lowest possible interest, if you're approved for it. And then the Vermont Infrastructure Bank, you had asked me to look into. It has low interest loans for large construction projects. Currently, the interest rate for the State Infrastructure Bank is 1%. Loans can't exceed 30 years, but it can't be for equipment. It has to be for a construction project.
Like a bridge?
Like a bridge. And the application process, I couldn't find any dates or deadlines or anything, but it says that the application process is guided by the Vermont Economic Development Authority office. So they basically work with you and coach you, and they tell you what you need to do. You had also asked me to look into the USDA Community Facilities Loan Grant Program. That is a federal program, and in Vermont has chosen for that program to currently only go toward rural utilities, not municipalities. And then VTrans doesn't have loan options, they're grants, and we are pursuing all these.
Oh, great research. Sounds like your people's trust is the...
We know, figure out how much we're gonna put down on it, and figure out the loan, right?
So the total grader cost was $264,500. We have a current CD balance of $142,267, and it matures next week. And that CD will be replenished as budgeted by $135,000 at the end of this year.
That's our equipment fund CD.
Yep, that's the equipment fund CD.
And when does that payment come due to John Deere, July.
I have a phone call in to him, and he hasn't replied in terms of when the payment is due.
When is
We
delivered?
signed it at the beginning of this
Right,
month.
we made the commitment.
Yeah, we made a commitment,
When it's delivered though.
but yeah, it's later. It's
Yeah,
a
so
lot
we don't
later.
have to
They
worry
didn't
about
say
that.
anything about a down payment, and the contract looks like an invoice. So
Yeah, but we're not paying until we
yeah.
Right.
take possession, so.
And they still haven't got a box for that new truck yet, must be. That's bizarre.
So if we don't do the loan right now, then we would have to just find out what the loan would be next month. And the equipment CD matures toward the ends of the month, so we have to get that information to them toward the end if we want to
So-
pull out.
I make a motion at the end of the month, when the CD matures, dump
This
it
one?
into liquefy it, and we'll use that for a down payment. We'll
Makes
borrow
sense.
120 or whatever it is. and There's no,
For a long time, we kept a balance. Most of this stuff was built with $65,000 a year payments.
Yeah.
You know, we had some up front, put down on something, most of it got paid off that way. We kept it in the budget. Worked out pretty good, actually.
I'll second that motion.
So liquefy the whole 142,257.
Yeah, because we're gonna put 135 back into it.
where are those payments coming out of? There's a line item for those payments, or how are we, is that gonna come out
Yeah,
of
there are
that
line
equipment
items
fund?
in the
Right.
budget.
It was around 65,000 for
So
town
we're
garage
at,
and fire station and then the salt sheds. We kept it around 65,000, 60 to 65.
65,000 toward the CD, and then there's a 70,000 toward the CD that for surplus. It's the surplus operating.
so we're gonna have to pay for that truck in the next 3 months as well.
Yeah, that's 20-something thousand dollars.
Well, I would, we got a motion on the floor. But I would like to, it would be interesting to get like time frame to answer the question of like, you get the phone call to, because this could be 6 months,
It
right?
could
I
be
mean,
some
theoretically. it could-
later.
Right, and I made the motion just in saying this is where the
And you
direction we
can
should
put
head.
that
but-
CD into a monthly CD, right?
Right.
If we know, if they tell us you're not gonna see that grader till November.
So it would be like an amendment
So what-
if you, go ahead. Sorry.
Let's see what are we gonna have for payments and what's on our line item.
Yeah.
If we put 120 down on this, we put nothing down on the truck. Does that fit in our budget line item, or how do we make it work
Make it
so our
all
payments
function.
line up with our, what we budgeted for?
Right. Because we have put money down on the truck already, right?
We have nothing saying that we have to put down money on the truck at this point. I haven't.
No, but we put a deposit on that truck. Because we ordered it 2 years ago, we had to put money on it to keep it, when it came in for the truck itself.
I think
We had to
did,
come in up with the
yeah.
money for the truck.
I think we did.
And then it's 60-something
So-
$1,000 for the
Yeah,
box and the
yeah.
plows and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's the part we got left on it, I believe.
Yeah.
So what if we do that? We liquefy the CD, so we have it, because we're gonna need it, whether it's a grader next month or the truck the month after.
Yeah.
Right.
And give us an accounting of, this is what the trade-in is, this is what we paid on the truck, so we see both numbers, and we can figure
See
out
what
what our
we gotta come
payments are
up
gonna
with.
be.
Okay.
Yep. So is that the motion we're going with?
Yeah, might as well
Yeah.
turn it into cash. 'cause we're
Turn
gonna need it.
cash and,
Okay.
we're all in favor of this?
Alright.
My boys in favor? Good enough.
Okay. So I connected with Energy Efficiency Vermont, and they do have a reimbursement program that would qualify us for 75% off all of our costs up to $5,000 for the garage installation. The requirement, though, is that one of their efficiency excellence network contractors do an in and out test to determine the efficiency savings, and that it did happen. So I talked to Bugbee, and they are not one, but they have worked with authenticated building performance diagnostics to do this in the past, and So I talked to a guy there, and he said he would be willing to do it, and he could meet with Mo. Mo has got a call out to him. It's sort of all predicated by if they do the in and out test and the pre-test looks like we need to do more than what they're doing in terms of fixing the program,
Yeah, just,
project, then it might change the bid. So that's where we are at this point. We could save
I'm
up to
curious, what's the
$5,000.
fee? Did he
Yeah,
give
what's
you-
the fee for having that?
He's actually paid by Efficiency Vermont, so we don't have to
So we're
pay.
already paying the
more
fee.
waste of,
We're already paying the
Yeah.
fee.
yeah.
No, they don't, no, they pay the Efficiency Excellence people.
Yeah.
They invoice, he will
Yeah, that's what I
invoice.
meant.
Yeah.
We already
Or-
paid
or
the
we-
fee
yeah.
with Efficiency
Yeah.
Vermont.
But it's
for
not
your
like
light
we're
bills.
gonna get, we get $5,000, it's not like we gotta pay this contractor
No.
out of the
No.
$5,000.
No, but we may have to cap it or I don't know, just some kind of
It seems like,
thing to make it efficient in a different way.
well, if they have a recommendation
Right.
in and out that is, 2x what we already got
Right.
planned, then we just say we withdraw from,
Right.
Yeah.
So that's.
We can't afford your generosity.
I was gonna say, I've done I don't know how many Efficiency Vermont projects, and the only thing you get out of it is a higher electricity bill. It's crazy.
Well, thanks for checking and let's go forward and, if-
I'll bring back if there's any
Yeah.
changes to the bid, and if not, then we're all set with a reimbursement option. That's
Yeah,
it.
we're not gonna change the bid, I don't think.
I know,
Yeah.
if it does change,
Right.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Let's see, so second quarter, we finished the quarter end, unemployment, taxes, retirement, reconciliations, all of that took place. And then we did receive adjusting journal entries for our 2024 books from Peisch, so I'm working through those. That's to clean up and make sure that last year looks right. Once that's finished, then they usually give us the audit within a few, I don't know how many weeks, but that's where we are with the audit at this point. We have received something. I also I completed follow-up requests from the workman's comp audit. Passive has a whole different process for workman's comp. I told you about weeks, I submitted all of the information, and then they come back and ask for more, sort of like the financial audit, actually. That's sort of what they do too, they ask for more. So they asked for more, I gave it to them. At the end of everything, there were 3 contractors who did not have certificates of insurance submitted to us. They also weren't required to have workman's comp, and they didn't, they signed a non-employee work agreement saying that they weren't asking for workman's comp. But because they didn't have those 3 certificates of insurance for liability, they're going on our workman's comp. So there's 3 people instead of, I think last year we had, however many years we had a whole bunch. But so the 3 who didn't have certificates of insurance, 2 of them were library employees, non-employee people doing handcrafts, and their reimbursement was
This is
really
through
small.
passive?
This is passive, yeah. 2 of them were non-employee people who signed non-employee agreements, and there's no reason, I mean, my opinion, there's no reason why a person's teaching knitting should have to get a certificate of liability insurance. That's just sort of,
Could poke an eye out.
yeah, I guess, I don't know. So anyway, and then one was a cleaner for the who's been working for us for a long time.
Everyone
So,
wants to know why there's no money for bridges, because
Yeah.
of stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
so they did say that, when I called them, I got all of it in, and they were like, these 3, and I was like, these 3 don't have those, but they don't want workers' comp, and they're gonna go on workers' comp anyway. I asked if it was gonna be a large increase, and she said it should be nominal, so I don't know how much that's gonna cost us, but
Do they have a,
What lesson can we learn about this process going forward with people that needlepoint workers' comp?
the question, I think, is if and this is hard to say out loud because, you know, it's a firestorm sometimes, but the library pays, if the majority of people who are going on our workman's comp are non-employee agreement people through the library, there's only 2. How do we work with the library around workman's comp? Because right now,
That should be their cost.
they're only, and historically, I looked back, historically, they've been paying for insurance, liability insurance. The whole section of our insurance that goes toward their building is what they've been paying, but they haven't been separating out workman's comp. So that's the question. I think that's the learning.
Why don't we get our agent to come have a discussion with us? I mean,
This is through that VLCT.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it may,
VLCT is
it
supposed
may
to be
be
working
only like
with us for us.
$100, you know, we don't know how much this is gonna increase us, but
Well, I think that's a good suggestion.
It is a good
Why don't we just, you know, what's it been, like 6 months? How long have we been with?
it's been a year and a half,
Say we'd like a,
a recap on
we'd like to,
year one.
you know, what have you saved us? What have you done for us lately?
Sure,
Yeah.
we can do that.
Stuff like that is driving people who want to help out with dugouts away. I mean, you send a guy that, I'm not dealing with it. It's,
Right,
Yeah, for the little bit of money they're gonna make on it, they're not
Right.
gonna-
they're not doing it to make it. This guy's
exactly.
finding
Which is why I
materials.
thought like the one form they gave us, which says, you know, I don't need it, I don't want it, and I'm just gonna
Yeah, well,
sign.
Doug, I'm sure
That
there's
should-
other fine points that would be
Yeah.
appropriate to bring up
Yeah.
at a future
Yeah.
meeting to say, hey, you know.
It didn't make
we
sense
wanna-
that this is
we
what
wanna,
they did.
because what about that whole audit? They had that hard charger, went through and, you know, looked at all our safety
Yeah, we
practices.
haven't sent them pictures yet of the wash.
can add that to the
stand and
conversation.
All that, yeah, yeah. So we have done some of that work,
Yeah.
but we haven't.
Yeah,
sent it.
how can we, you know, they had all this kind of, how they're gonna save us all this money and make things safer. Okay, well, let's
Yep.
follow up.
Okay,
It's great, but we're gonna be able to work with the volunteers or the community members, not inflate costs for
Yeah,
needle point
it's-
people.
so weird. I think it costs like $500 a year to get, I mean, if you're a sole proprietor, I mean, it doesn't make sense for somebody who's making only,
Mine's 400,
yeah, it's like 2. Anyway, so it doesn't,
for just like if somebody trips and falls walking out of the building,
yeah.
I pay $400.
Yeah. Okay, so, I told you we have a meeting scheduled with the Friends of Northern Lake Champlain next week. They're kind of jazzed about the idea of moving that, you know, working on this project of moving the road. So, they know that it's gonna have a lot of permitting issues, but they're really interested in working with us on making that happen, so,
I gave him a tour of the pond.
yeah, good.
Trying to think who owned that lot. Was it Damien Brandon?
I thought it was Damien.
I think it was
He
Damien
used to own
Brandon.
it.
It was like a 1 acre lot. And that's when the state of Vermont was, oh yeah, if you come up with 155,000, you can put a parking lot in there. You know, so they mitigate it somewhere else.
So I'll look into.
Seems like we could
what-
mitigate some, you know, anyways.
Yeah. And then.
Maybe Ron could donate some shortage to.
The zoning admin ads are running again. I have had one person interested who is gonna submit an application tomorrow. And that's all I have on that at this point.
Such a realistic application, hopefully.
I can't disclose that. I haven't, I did talk to the person today. And that person, after our conversation, wanted to apply, so. Next meeting, we're opening Very Wild bids, and Tim Hawkins is drafting deeds for Romar North and Sherman. He's been doing the work on the history and putting that together. So he's been around, and that's all I've got for my update.
Melissa, you got anything for us?
Yes, you're at the next meeting, 7/28. Emily Cloft will be coming to give you a bit of an update on the bylaw review. The biggest change that we made, which is actually substantial, is that small subdivisions like a boundary line adjustment, or a single lot subdivision will no longer be subject to conservation resource guidance. So all the problems that we've had with our most recent small size subdivision, they get split off a lot for their kid to build a house.
You don't need names.
Okay, there was it's all public, so it doesn't matter. There was a subdivision on a small lot, one single lot subdivision on Reynolds Road, which was an issue where the conservation resources were located. It made the lot worthless. And they appealed and said, hey, what are you gonna do? And so we've been hearing that same thing over and over again. We heard from Damian Brannon, we heard from a few farmers saying, listen, I carved out a single lot. Yes, it's in a meadow. Yes, it's where 70 years ago the state said these are state or prime ag lands. And it wasn't quite unanimous, but it passed that small lot subdivisions will be removed from that. So that's monumental progress.
Yeah.
Realistic progress.
Yes, very realistic. Yes, very realistic. It addresses a lot of the things that we heard
Yeah. Saves
through
you a
the
lot of
last year and a
reading.
half. Yes, yes. I started with a guy called Brett Adams who grew up here and then moved away to go to college and get married. He had this Facebook page called If You Grew Up in Fairfield When, or something like that. And he and I have been talking about this page and how useless it is because nobody engaged with it. People have been asking for there to be a community forum for Fairfield. And so Brett and I decided, okay, well, let's switch it to a community forum. It's similar to, there's one in Georgia that's fabulous. There's one in Swanton that's kind of a lot of BS, so it needs a lot of management. Brett and I are going to tackle it together. I sent you an invite to that. Did you see that? Okay. I will tell you, I made a mistake when I built it. I didn't put the disclaimer on it that this has nothing to do with the town of Fairfield or the administration. Kathy picked up on that and said, not until we talk to the select board. So I put that on now. I also advertised it on the town website because I'm an admin on the town's website, and Kathy said, So I took that off, which I'd like to be able to put it back on there because we gained a ton of people. It's been used a little bit, but it's still growing. We gained quite a few followers in the last 2 weeks, and some people are just introducing themselves. The library is posting community events there. The Jig in the Valley's on, like, it's got some community event postings. The goal is that it'll be a place where people can talk to each other. The Georgia one is fabulous. Carolyn Brannigan, who's the rep for Georgia, initiates discussion about things that are going on in the State House. She explains things. I'd like to be able to get James to do that.
How many pages is this thing?
Yeah, this is not something that we want to be.
No,
as a
you don't
select
want,
board
you have
connected
nothing to do with it. You have nothing to do with it. I'm just telling you about it so that if somebody says something to you,
Yeah,
you
what's
can
this
say,
about?
this has got nothing to do with the town of Fairfield. It says it,
Yeah.
the pinned post right at the top says, the town administration has nothing to do with this page. It's managed by community members.
So it's kind of like a front porch forum thing?
Yes, but it's just yes,
Different
exactly
format.
like that, except it's on Facebook instead. So, just an FYI, more than anything. And, secondary to the FYI, can I promote it on the town Facebook page?
No.
Okay.
That would be my thought, because it's community.
Well, it would be the same. I would promote it saying that it is unrelated to the
Right, but
town.
if-
It's
if
just,
Bob
this is,
comes up and says, hey, I've got a community forum and it's whining about Fairfield.
well,
just-
people
I
will
don't-
whine. I'll shut them down fairly
Yeah,
quickly.
but that's gonna be your private token, it can't be.
Let's say, I
No-
would say,
no
I would
town.
suggest, let's wait a while and see how this works out.
Okay.
Timeline. That's how I'd approach it.
All right.
Yeah.
We don't know who the moderators are outside of you, it's,
You don't know Brett Adams? He's about your age, and he
But
grew up
it's
here.
nothing we have control over.
See one of the ones from
No, no.
over in Cedar, over on Gillen Road, that on it?
I don't know where actually.
Yeah, there was, Jim Adams and Janice Adams lived over there on Gillen Road.
Name,
I know, he lives in South Carolina now.
Oh.
He's coming soon to visit.
but
Will
let's
someone
talk
make a motion
social
to
media.
approve the warrants, so we can get this thing moving?
So be it.
Second it?
Second.
Yeah.
Um,
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Kathy, can you remember off the top of your head what we pay for AmCare services a month? Is it $3,400?
I don't remember, but they did, I have the file right in my office.
Can you pull the contract?
I can grab it.
That would be-
Weren't they doing a 4% increase?
Yeah, well, we had a rather large incident yesterday, which
What was that over here?
was wonderful. We had mutual aid from 2 ambulances from the Cisco, one from Fairfax. Fairfax sent EMTs of their, in personal rigs. It was flawless as far as on the boots on the ground type of thing. But AmCare has made some significant cuts. We only have one AmCare ambulance, and it wasn't because they were busy. It's because they don't have
Staff?
They cut the staff.
Ooh.
So I'm just curious,
Right,
it might be worth looking into,
different ones.
well,
So what happened over in the corner? Did somebody rear-end the car and they hit her?
somebody hit that
Well, they did, because I asked Cindy, she went by just that. Of course, she is an observer. I said, well, did somebody rear-end one another, or did somebody hit each other in the corner? Which way were the cars facing?
So
$1,509. I know we give them a hell of a chunk of change, and to not have an ambulance available is kind of like,
Yeah.
I'll read through it and we can talk about it next time, but I wanted to just make us aware that, I don't know what it says in here for guaranteed coverage, but
Because it's a new group running it, right?
yeah, it's a group out of Maryland. Well, we lost our jump bag that we carry, all of our gear in it disappeared. So I tried calling AmCare to see if they had it down at the station, and there's not even a phone number to the station anymore. I got a number in Maryland, and
Okay.
nobody answers it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not gonna work out very well, is it?
again, the people are great, the service is phenomenal, but just the corporate management structure
Yeah.
is changing, and
What are the other options in this area?
there's a couple of other squads, but that's
good.
AmCare is the one that makes sense for us. I mean, that's close, the
Yeah.
service is good, just something to look at.
Is there anything else you want to bring up before we adjourn?
There's a executive session.
Yeah, well, I guess we better bring that up then.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll make a motion to go to executive session?
Can I make a motion?
A second.
No, how do we say it rightly now? No motion, no decisions made?
No action taken.
Discussion.
Yeah, no discussion, and we're gonna continue the next meeting. But no action's been taken.
Okay.
And someone make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Perfect, thank you.
Second.
That's easy.
Yeah.